Hello, everybody, and good evening. So glad to be here with you all. I am excited about talking about this tonight. Just a quick review. There are 3 ways you can contact me for this thing we're doing, this question answer, Q&A, consultation stuff. First way is Facebook Messenger. Pretty easy. It's right here on this site. Second way is you can go to my website, bobbyshirley.com/advice. And there's a contact form you can fill out and we can chat over email. Third way is leave me a voicemail. Call me. Tell me what's going on. We'll figure out how to chat from there. So that number is 256-978-9757. No. Thought there might be a way to pin that, but there's not. So tonight we are talking about how to find work and nail the interview. So I am very excited about this because this is something most people need. So once again, why I'm doing these because I want to help people find work they love. And then once they find it, if they need help marketing it, advertising, I like doing that too. So those are the 2 main reasons I'm doing this. And because it was a phenomenal idea by my lovely and smart wife, Anna. So tonight, how to find work you love, and then we'll get to how to nail the interview. So first thing, I want to introduce an idea that I've been working on for a while, and I'm calling it the wheelhouse. So what is a wheelhouse? Wheelhouse is knowing where your strengths and where your passions combine, working in that zone is what I call your wheelhouse. So a wheelhouse can mean a couple of different things. First definition of wheelhouse that I like to use is in baseball. So a batter, typically their wheelhouse is going to be from about here to just mid-thigh. Anywhere in there, a batter can usually hit it, and it's probably going to be a home run. But that's always been my definition of wheelhouse. But wheelhouse now is a place on a ship where the captain steers, where they have the little wheel that they steer with. Because the person that goes in there has to know what they're doing. Because the ultimate goal of a ship is to make it from point A to point B without sinking. So the wheelhouse where you're operating in, you just got it all. You feel it every day. It's what you love to do. So someone said skills can be taught. Strengths are natural. Skills get you a job, but strengths build you a career. Skills can be forgotten, but strengths last a lifetime. So the first thing we need to do is determine what are your strengths. What are you good at? What comes naturally to you? So several ways to do this. First way is online quizzes. Not the little what animal are you thing that you can click on and find out on Facebook. Not those, but like Myers-Briggs. So according to the Myers-Briggs, I am an ENFP, which I am outgoing. I am, the tagline for it is the ambassador. So you give me a cause and boy, I'll hold that banner and we'll go for it. Strengths Finder. This is a super awesome test. It's like tons of information. Like there's 36 different character types and it gives you your strengths. Mine, I should have written it down. It's been a little while since I've taken it, but I think Achiever and Activator, I think are my 2 strong ones. And then DISC, D-I-S-K. I took mine a while back and I really don't remember what it is, but those are 3 really good online tests. Some of them you have to pay for, some there might be a free version. Another good way is pen and paper. Get a notebook, make you a little T, write down, I'm good at this, pros and cons. I'm good at this, I'm not good at this, and just make you a list. Last way, ask people. It's not very fun because you're making yourself vulnerable. But go to someone that you trust, that has known you for a long time, and say, what is it you think I'm good at? What is it you think I'm known for? What is it you think I'm the best at? And just take those, kind of compile them all, and then see what rings true to you. So another thing, there are different types of skills. So there are knowledge-based skills, which is usually acquired from like education or experience. So think like computer skills. So my day job, my 40-hour-a-week job is IT. So I've learned over the years how to fix computers, how to build websites. And I went to school for this, but I didn't finish my degree, but I did gain a lot of knowledge and I got hands-on experience. So computer skills, that's a type of knowledge-based skills. Languages. So if you know how to speak multiple languages, that is a skill that you're not native to. So if you're English or American and you speak English, that's not really a skill. I mean, it's great that you can do that. But if you're American and you can speak French, that is a skill. So if you have a degree, there's some type of skill you've learned during that. And then training and technical ability. So if you've been to some kind of course, something like that, those are different type of knowledge-based skills. There's also transferable skills. These are portable skills that you take from job to job. So if I went to work somewhere else at a warehouse, my computer skills may not be the most transferable. So transferable skills, communication and people skills. These are huge. If you can get these, develop them, whatever you need to do. Communication and people skills. Another, analytical and problem solving skills. And also planning skills. Now, I am not that great at planning. My wife is phenomenal at planning. I may say something like, I think this will take about 30 minutes. And then about 4 hours later, they're still going. I am not the best at time management or time planning. So if you have that type of skill, it's a great skill to have. Another one is personal traits. So dependability, flexibility, friendly, hardworking, expressive, formal, punctual, being a team player. All these are personal traits type skills. Great things to have. So another example of some strengths would be enthusiasm. So think Tigger from like Winnie the Pooh. He was enthusiastic. Trustworthiness is a phenomenal skill, strength. Creativity, discipline, patience, respectfulness, determination, dedication, honesty, versatility. So these are all some things that you can write down and do some self-examination, self-evaluation, and figure out what your strengths are. So once you have your strengths, then you need to think about what are your passions. So what gets you fired up? What can you talk about for hours and do for hours and not really be drained, like still have energy and momentum? What do you wake up thinking about? What's the hardest thing to stop thinking about so you can go to sleep? Those can be indications of where your passions lie. So what you want to learn by doing this is what motivates you, what inspires you, what excites you, what engages you, but also what scares you and holds you back. Because what's something that's scary could be something you need to pursue deeper, because it could actually be something that is a passion you have, but there may be reservations about how to get started, how to formalize it maybe. So that's something you can evaluate. You could also check out, what do you do well naturally? Like, I'm naturally a pretty good organizer. Years ago when I worked at Chick-fil-A, I ended up being one of the ones that always had to unload the truck, put all the stuff up. Because to me, it was like a big puzzle. How can I fit this mountain of food and supplies into this little bitty space? So that was always real good. So that's something I'm good at naturally. So when it's time for us to pull out our Christmas decorations or put up our Christmas decorations, that is my job to organize it. So What do you need to improve on? Everyone has room for improvement. There's always something you can improve on. No one is perfect except Jesus, and he's not here anymore. So, what do you pretend to like but don't really like? Now, when we're sitting around the dinner table, I pretend sometimes that I like broccoli. But I'm going to let you know a secret. I don't like broccoli. I'll eat it because I know it's good for me, but I don't really like it. So, what do you pretend to like but don't really like? I used to pretend that I liked rap music a whole lot. Not a huge fan of rap music. I think it's great. I think some of the people are extremely talented, but not a huge fan. Last one is, once you're done creating these lists, your list of strengths and your list of passions, the thing about passion is the only way to really know if you're passionate about something is to try it. Try doing something. So I'm passionate about helping people. So you know what I'm doing? I'm doing these Facebook Lives, trying it out, seeing how it goes. And so that's something you have to think about. Truly finding your passion can only be done by doing. You have to test the thing you're passionate about. You're never going to really know if you're passionate about it until you test it out. So you're going to add your primary strengths to your primary passions and find your wheelhouse. Looks something like this. So imagine these are your strengths, and imagine these are your passions. Where they intersect right here, that's going to be your wheelhouse. So jobs that land in this area will be jobs that odds are you can be really good at and be fulfilled by. Because the goal of this is to have a job or career or a side hustle that doesn't drain you. It's not taxing. It's not laborsome on your brain to go to work. So some things for me, consulting. I'm really good at consulting. I'm great at brainstorming. So things like that just get me going. So the thing about this process is it may not be something you can complete in an evening, but it could be a very good weekend project. So take this, start thinking about it. It took me probably 2 weeks to kind of flesh it out, about a week on my own, and then about a week talking to other people and getting Anna's opinion and other people of what do we think we can do with this. So once we did that, then this was born, and that's all she wrote. So now that you know your passions and your strengths, you're going to want to look for a career in your wheelhouse. You're going to want to look for something in this area. It could be several things, could be several different types of jobs, but that's what you're going to want to look for. So you're going to want to have an interview to do this. And you're going to want to nail the interview. So first thing to do, there's a guy by the name of Ken Coleman who always talks about shaking the relationship tree. So think about 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You ever played that game where you say, how can we connect Bobby Shirley to Kevin Bacon? And I start thinking about this person knows this person, who knows this person, who knows this person, who knows this person, who knows Kevin Bacon. That's kind of the idea you want to do. So let's say you want to get a job at Bobby Shirley Industries. First thing you're going to do is say, who do I know that works there? Do I know anybody? Look through your Facebook contacts, your phone contacts, your Twitter contacts, LinkedIn. Who do I know? Now, the best thing to do is find a personal connection, someone that you know personally, like in person, that works there. If you don't have that, not a problem. Do you know someone who knows someone who works at Bobby Shirley Industries? If you do, would they be willing to connect you with someone on the inside? Would they be willing to set up a coffee meeting, meet 10 minutes in the lobby kind of thing, just to get some type of personal connection? In 2006, there's a survey that stated 85% of all jobs are filled via networking. So you could have the world's best resume, but if you don't know someone, you may not get the job. So whatever you need to do, figure out someone who knows somebody, or if you know somebody that actually works there, and make that connection. So remember, 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Now, once you've shaken that tree and you actually get an interview, excuse me, here's what you need to do to get ready for that interview. Spend some time learning everything you can about this company. As many sources as possible. Number one, Google, search it. Who do I know at Bobby Shirley Industries? What's the work environment like at Bobby Shirley Industries? Does Bobby Shirley Industries make you wear a tie? Does Bobby Shirley Industries have cake and donuts on Fridays? Find out as much as you can about the company. Look at glassdoor.com. Look at linkedin.com, Facebook, Twitter. Just search it. Find out as much as you can about the company because you want to know what you're walking into. Another thing is search typical interview questions because you're probably going to be asked some typical interview questions. You may be asked the kind of stuff of brain teasers or riddles or, leadership type questions, but there's typically going to be the same type interview questions. You're typically going to be asked, so tell me about yourself. You need to be prepared to answer that question. Work on it. Write it out. Here's a few bullet points about me. I'm smart. I have a wife and 4 kids and a dog named Penny and a cat named Dash. Give them some bullet points. I've been in this field for X number of years. So have a tell me about yourself ready. Another one that's really good to know is don't be thrown off by that classic question of, so tell me what your biggest weakness is. I think probably not the worst thing, but it's going to be good to have an answer for that. If you say, I don't know. I'm not really sure what my biggest weakness is, or another one is, I think my biggest weakness is I just care too much. That's not a valid answer. You need to have something like, I think there's a lot of things I can work on, but one of the things I've really been working on lately is when I'm doing my Facebook Lives, I touch my face too much, touch my ears, my glasses too much. That's one of the things I've really been working on. It's probably a weakness I really need to get over, but I know that that's something I can improve on. So that would be a typical answer. So another thing, be on time, which means be early. I think it was my band director in college. He said, if you're 5 minutes early, you're 5 minutes late. So make sure you're there early and ready. This is something else. Plan the perfect interview outfit, not just the ladies. Gentlemen, make sure you're dressing appropriately. In your searching about the company, find out if they're business casual, if they're tie, if they're Sunday dress, kind of find out what their typical culture is. But it's never a bad idea to overdress. Now, I'm not talking about cocktail dresses and I'm not talking about tuxes, but if you get there and it turns out they don't wear ties, but you wore one to the interview, you're probably going to be okay. If you wear a dress to the interview and turns out that they don't really make their ladies wear dresses, they can wear dress pants, I think's what women call them, I think. You're going to be okay. So last thing, two more things. Have at least one, but no more than 3 questions for the interviewer. So at the end of the interview, they'll say, so do you have any questions for us? Have at least one, but probably no more than 3 because you don't want to take a ton of time. But some good ones are, can you tell me a little bit more about the work environment? Am I going to be in a factory, or am I going to be in an air-conditioned office? So that could be a valid question just to try to get some more information. But you want to ask questions that can be job clarifying, department clarifying, or just general questions about the company. So have a question, at least one, but probably no more than 3. Last one, try to stay calm. Yes, it's a big deal. And yes, you're probably going to be nervous, but odds are the person interviewing you is nervous as well because they're making a huge decision just like you are. So try to stay calm. Odds are it's all going to work out great. So there's a book by a man named Pat Lencioni. It's a phenomenal book, and it's called The Ideal Team Player. And in this book, he lays out 3 qualities of a great member of a team. The first one is humble. So his definition is humble team members are quick to point out the contribution of others and slow to seek attention of their own. They share credit, emphasize team over self, and define success collectively rather than individually. So humble, always be humble. Hungry. Now, I just had dinner. I hope you did too. But hungry does not mean that. A hungry team member is self-motivated and diligent. This is someone who is constantly thinking about the next step and the next opportunity. So humble and hungry. Last one is smart. Smart team members. No, wait a minute. We always want people on our team that are smart. But this is not talking about book smart. This is talking about being relationally smart. So smart team members are interpersonally appropriate and aware. They have good judgment and intuition around the subtleties of group dynamics and the impact of their words and actions. So basically, it's someone who can judge a situation they're in a group and kind of not change in a bad way, but adjust to the group, because sometimes the groups you may be in may be real vocal, and real lively. And so if that's the case, you can be a little more lively, or they may be a little more subdued. And if that's the case, you adjust your demeanor to do the same. So you want to be humble. You want to make sure that other people get the credit when appropriate. You want to make sure that you think about others. You want to be hungry. You want to be self-motivated and diligent. You want to make sure you're kind of thinking a step or two ahead. And lastly, you want to be smart. You want to be able to read people. You want to be relationally smart. You want to make sure that you're fitting in with the group, not sticking out, staying with the group, not lagging behind. So make sure you're humble, make sure you're hungry, make sure you're smart. I hope all these tips really helped you. I hope that you'll take the time to do the work, to figure out your strengths and your passions, and to find where your wheelhouse is in the happy middle where they are. I'm working on a better resource to be able to give people for finding their wheelhouse. But take the time, share this if it was helpful to you. Make sure you like it, love it, be angry, whatever. But make sure you take the time to do some self-evaluation, find out what you're passionate about, find out what your strengths are, figure out the best way those work together, and find work that you will love and you will be fulfilled in your life. Work's not everything, but having a good work environment and doing something you love is very fulfilling. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. I hope this is good information and helped you all. And we will do this again next week. Have a great week and weekend. Good night.